year came back to the church. Um, let's get a couple current event things here. Well, first I'm gonna mix these questions up because I want to do that one last. But where do you see yourself or this church in 5 years? What's your? I know you say you've got a vision. I'm not asking you to divulge your whole vision for this church, but what's the generic? Where I see my congregation in 5 years.
Um, I'm seeing revival come to Lexington. I really am, and I'm so thankful because Mandy and I have been here for 12 years, and nowadays it takes a long time to get things accomplished for folks to have these grandiose ideas that, hey, I'm going to jump out and start a business, or hey, I'm going to do this, and you think it's going to click and take off right now. Number one, it don't. It doesn't.
Never.
It never does. It takes people time to get to know you. It takes you a long time to get to know yourself. It takes you a long time to get things worked out, patterns and processes, and it takes a long time to get things moving. And so we we actually pre-COVID were beginning to really move and see God move in our church pre-COVID. Then COVID came, shut us down. Post-COVID, we're at 50 people.
It's amazing you could go to a nightclub or an alcohol store, but you couldn't go to church.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
because our evil government, those are necessity, but churches is not necessity.
Right.
And so they shut us down, and we went back, and we I remember the couple of months after COVID, we was running 50, and I lost a lot of people right off just due to COVID. Not death, just people got out of church didn't come back.
Yeah, I got doing other things on Sundays and
They did watching from home, things like that, going to the lake. Let's be honest, they're going to the lake, going to the
lake,
beach.
drag strip, car show.
Yep, yep.
I used a lot of excuses my adult life to not come to church.
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So we've since begun growing again, and we really feel like God is stirring the waters here in Lexington, and we believe God is bringing revival to Lexington, and we believe we're supposed to be caught up in that revival. And I want to see us become more community involved. I want to get more involved in the community. I want to see us grow spiritually, and I want to see us grow numerically. Um, we do have a vision for the future. It's that of growing in the Lord and seeing the church grow in the Lord. And we plan on being right here. And we're hoping that we're right here. I used to pick and tell people, oh, when I'm state overseer one day or what, because what we do, that's kind of like us picking up about being state overseer is about like the working man saying, yeah, whenever I own this company one day,
Yeah.
that's how we pick. But I've never really wanted to do that, and I'm not going to do that. God has a place for Mandy and I right here, and I've never felt more like I'm walking in God's will than I do right now. Because honestly, for a long time, I had, even though I knew I was where I was supposed to be, you still wonder, am I where God wants me to be? Um, but I've never felt it stronger than I have lately. That we're right where God wants us to be, and
The holes in the pews are getting less. It's trying to get here in time to make sure you don't lose your seat is a good thing to have in church.
It is, and we appreciate that. But what we really love is we love seeing people like Eddie and Lindy and his family, who have been out of church and getting back in the church, and not only are they in church but on fire for God. And this is what we call as Christians on fire for God. And that's some church lingo, churchy words I was preaching on earlier this year. Of being on fire for God, and we love to see folks that have ran or been out of church for a while, and then once God gets a hold of them, now they're on fire and they want to change the world for God. And this is a pastor's dream. It really is, because we love to see people just on fire for God and trying to affect the world they live in, because it doesn't get any better than this. Um, Pastors, when I talk about Jesus, I'm supposed to. It's my job. Whenever I preach about Jesus, oh, you're doing that because you're trying to proselytize, you're trying to get people in your church. But when Eddie does it, and you see Eddie the car guy, and you know he's a good man, he's doing that just because he loves the Lord. We both love the Lord the same, but the perception is I'm doing it because it's my job, and Eddie's doing it because he loves the Lord. And for me, I love that. I love that.
I think it's you pushed me there. I can tell you were a main uh, staple in me. Your preaching, your uh, the way this church sometimes doesn't get to a service, like I spoke about. It's you can go back and watch some of our lives and you can see what I'm talking about. But it is an amazing moment when you start seeing that, and you know God's the man, but you're the, as I said before in the analogies, you're the shepherd here, and this flock wouldn't be the way it is without you. There's other pastors here, like you said. We have a inside the church. There's a list of pastors, and uh, I feel like with you at the helm, this ship will go places. Um, you've helped me push towards starting the closest Royal Rangers thing around here for 100 miles,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to go visit with a jamboree they're having in Brown Summit coming month. I'm going to
That'd be
go out
good.
for the day and just see how it's working. We're going to open that up to the churches and then the community once we get everything rolling. That way we don't just pile in 1,000 people, and none of us know exactly what we're doing, but who knows what they're doing before they done anything. But hopefully we get that. I want to see that. Uh, I want to see that go where the troop went that I helped start when I was 17. It was about 6 of us that came from other troops that we didn't feel like we were being treated right. We were all poor kids. We didn't have the best camping gear or the best. Our parents couldn't come to every meeting, and we didn't have the nicest uniforms. And we heard yeah, we're dumb kids, but we heard these adults that are supposed to be our mentors. Well, they'll never accept anything, and they'll never just hear them talking amongst themselves. And whether or not they were talking about us or not, we took it that it was about us, and this was a common thing among you know we weren't donating money to the troop as the other parents were. Our parents weren't. My grandma and grandpa were raising me at the time, and they done everything they could to keep me where I needed to be, and I did get my Eagle. But that troop ended up being until Boy Scouts went far left, which I'll say because I believe that this is my opinion and my show. But
And you're correct in that they have.
when they did that, it went away. That church actually does their own little thing that's not affiliated with anybody. It's just their church scouts. But there were full every level of Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. They had full rooms of kids for years after that.
Mm.
Uh, there was probably on a Monday night there was 30 Boy Scouts, and they had to have 3 rooms and 3 troops, 3 different patrols, and they were just packed out with
All because
boys.
you weren't being treated right, and you went to
and
another
and we
program
got
where.
with an older man and it was a local troop here. They were dormant for 20 years, and that man's grandkids became Eagles there,
Mm.
or that man's kids became Eagles there. They never had any grandboys, so they never had scouts. And these 2 older men that were affiliated with that original troop said, "You know what? We can do this. We can recharter this troop, and we can put y'all in a place." And there was like 6 or 7 of us that we started it. We started going. We went through probably 5 scoutmasters because the rule was that 7 of us, we were like a TV show. We were the original 7. So
Mm.
we had a board. If the scoutmaster started acting weird and we didn't like it, we asked them to resign.
Mm.
We did not want that troop going in the way that it went. And that's why I adamantly tell people that I understand you want to help me do this and you want me to you've helped with this and you've done this program and you know people who've ran this program, but I'm not going to run this program the way that everybody else did because I know how it feels to be in a group of kids where you don't feel like you're in the group.
Amen.
Not to get off on a whole other subject, but
No, and I think that's probably why you and I click, because I was a poor kid too, and my dad was a drunk, and I was the kid on the outs, and I was even in my own church. If I got to go somewhere, it's because someone sponsored me, and so I get it. I get it, man. And that's probably why we preach and teach the way we preach and teach, because we've been those poor kids, and uh, in a lot of ways, probably I'm still that poor kid today, but I'm just thankful that God saved me and He's got me moving forward for Him.
my finances could help it a little better if I wasn't that poor kid to buy too much stuff.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about something that's affecting a lot of people nowadays, whether you're in the church or not. But what are your thoughts on the revival that has happened in the Christian community since the Charlie Kirk assassination? I want to say incident, but it wasn't an incident. It was a political and religious assassination.
It was. It was 100% a political / religious assassination, and it was the devil wanting to take away the voice of God in the community. And Charlie was doing a lot of great things for God, and he wanted to snuff him out. And time will tell what this does long term. But as for now, it has gave a shot in the arm to church, and there are people flooding the churches right now, who are on the fence. People who are on the fence. Now, I do want to say this, and I said it this morning. America and the world has been in a revival since coming out of COVID, and it's been going on for a while now, and the media has not been wanting to cover it. Um, but if you'll see in New Zealand, in France, in England, there have been massive revivals and Christian concerts with hundreds of thousands of people turning up. And don't get me wrong, I know that not everybody in that group is saved. I know that, but there's a lot of people who are, and there's a lot of people who are searching. Here in America, we've had college campuses, Georgia, massive revivals, baptizing people in the back of trucks. Um, Alabama's been having revivals. Ohio State, I mentioned this morning, has been having revivals since 2022 in their football program. Um, they're having revivals out west in California. And one day, no, I'm sorry, in one weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday, they baptized 12,000 people in the state of California all in one weekend, sometime either this year or last year, due to revival. And so revival winds are blowing, and the Charlie Kirk thing has intensified that revival. And I really do believe you're going to have, like you always do with everything, there's going to be a massive inrush of people who go because of emotionalism. They're going to feel the emotion. They're going to go and they're going to fall back. But there's still going to be an end result of a revival that stirs from this, because what Charlie Kirk has caused is he's caused people like us who've been sitting back and being quiet, who don't want to make waves and we don't want to make enemies.
And hide behind anxiety.
We want to hide behind anxiety and things like that, to where we're like, I could be Charlie Kirk, as in that could have been that bullet, could have been me. And so now that's empowered a lot of people in church to say, we need to get active and we need to get our voice out. And so what that does is it does two things. One is it gets people's eyes open and causes revival to keep blowing. But two, it makes the enemy mad and makes him want to fight. So it's going to be there's going to be revival growth, but then there's going to be hits just like we saw it today, Michigan. And I know I don't want to even speak. Some people will say, well, you don't know about the church. No, I don't know a thing about the church. I don't know a thing about the church, and I don't know why it happened. But I can guarantee you this: the devil don't want to burn down a church that he owns.
Exactly.
So somebody went in there and drove a car through them and shot them up.
Nobody gets shot for telling lies.
That's right.
Nobody. And anybody, if you go through history, I mean, I don't want to put Charlie on anybody else's level. He was his own man, and he was a great man. If you go through history, anyone who was telling people to live better, live equal, live a godly life, you can go back from Jesus to Martin Luther King to Kennedy, to any of those people who were assassinated, or killed for a reason. Mm-hmm. It was always because life was better. You don't need to be doing what you're doing. You need to be, this is better. If you would just listen and do what I'm saying, it would be better. Or this is how we should be acting. Something, anybody can say, oh, well, it was lapel pin, or it was a dude from the left side of the place, or his own guard. But at the end of the day, it was the devil. It was, Satan is alive and he is here. And I watch a lot of different, I listen to a lot of different podcasts because I refuse to listen to the radio nowadays, because it's nothing but, you should have this, or you should have that, or you should be doing this or doing that. And I just don't like it. It doesn't, it's hard to see the light if you're living in a cloud. So I just made that up.
That's a good word. That's communism and socialism. People preaching communism and socialism, as in, I need to take from them and give to us. Hey, you can preach that all. They're good with that. But the moment you start doing like Charlie and saying, you know what? I need to step up and do better myself and let God take care of me, and y'all leave me alone. That's what the enemy doesn't want to hear, because the enemy wants to hear, you take care of me.
That you're doing right. You're this is okay. You give us this, we'll protect you. It's it was an evil took him.
Evil took him
in whatever form and whatever reason, and if it was this or if it was that. At the end of the day, that was evil. That was to do that on. That was probably the most exposed assassination ever in history.
It was.
The amount of social media and cameras that were on him at the time, even because it was him. I mean, there's 1,000 different angles you can watch that from, and it's just, and The only angle that really mattered to me was the fact that his wife watched it and his family watched. I could I can break down right now thinking about if my family had to see me killed like that.
Yeah.
In one thing, I would hope it would empower them to know I was doing the right thing. But on the other hand, I mean, they got to live with that for the rest of their life. That's got to be the last image. You know, I don't go see passed away people sometimes because I want to remember the image that I had before that.
Okay.
I've few people I've missed out on telling goodbye because I didn't want to remember them in that casket,
I
and
get it.
I regret it in some ways, and in some ways I'm glad I did because I don't have that image to go with memories. But yeah, I believe that he was, like I pointed out in prayer today, he could have saved another one, but the amount of people he saved from the moment that gunshot went off to
That's
now
right.
is outstanding.
That's right.
As a memorial, the people who stood, and whether they were doing it for false pretenses or not, the people who did, I mean, the numbers were there. I mean, that's probably the largest one time of people saying, "I want to be saved." That there probably is recorded. I mean, Jesus didn't have that following, and it wasn't that kind of following back then. But he had 12 people that were willing to die for him.
That's right.
Charlie Kirk's got 12 million.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the analogy most people are using. The 12,
Charlie Kirk was, and a lot of people have thrown a lot of names out there. I think, and this is no disrespect to anybody that went before Charlie, whether it be Martin Luther in the 1500s or Martin Luther King Jr. In our age. I think there has not been a Charlie Kirk sacrifice since all the way back to the days of Stephen.
yes,
I think when they stoned Stephen in the early church days, that was a shot that went around the world. And
that was the ending of the first season of the Testament.
oh, really?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the last episode I watched. That was the stoning
Okay.
of Stephen.
I might have to catch up on that.
That's
I have
that.
to watch
It
that.
goes from resurrection to the stoning of Stephen in the first, and he was just there because he was stoned because the government wouldn't stop him from preaching, and the church people decided that they would take it on his own hands,
Yeah.
and they made them do it
Mm-hmm.
because they did not want to go against what they were taught.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that's what believing the wrong doctrine will do to you.
Absolutely, it will. It will.
In similar way as who if the Charlie Kirk thing happened the way they did, that's exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was killed by someone who believed the opposite of what he believed.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's
I just can't comprehend how, in the war of words, I'm justified to kill you because I don't like your words.
exactly.
I can't comprehend that. Now, if you're hurting somebody, yeah. If you're violent, yes. If there needs to be some type of justice, yes. But just in the war of
I mean, the
words,
old saying used to be "sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me."
yeah,
Now
yeah,
words will get you
kill.
shunned and killed, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think I've got a couple of friends that ain't talked to me in a while because I've talked to them about the Lord, and that's not my problem. That's theirs.
That's on
And
them.
if they call me again, I'll talk to them about it again. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
change just because they want me to talk to them a different way.
That's right.
Um, I've had a couple of friends tell me that I needed to get my life together before I started trying to do all this stuff.
Mm.
And I've been doing this for 40 years and I have yet to get my life together. So I,
we,
I better.
I'm a pastor. I'm still getting my life together. Lord help me. So
Um,
yeah, I get it. I get it.
well, I'm not going to go into a bunch of different other questions because we've been at this for an hour.
Okay.
But
okay.
If there's anything you could tell somebody watching that you feel like somebody needs to hear, what would you just pastor to somebody that you don't know what they're going through, you don't know what they're, you do it at the end of service, you call to the altar. If you had to call somebody to the altar right now,
Um,
what would you say to them?
my thought process is, um, man, we don't have a promise of tomorrow or a promise of tonight or a promise of today. All we have is the right here and the right now. And I would say, don't, like Eddie said, don't wait until you get your life in order to try to get your life right, because it ain't going to be in order. It's like, um, waiting until you can afford to have a child to have a child. Everybody goes, yeah. Go ahead and make your decision today. Don't wait until you're a perfect person, and don't wait until everything's right, and don't wait until the right circumstances to try to give your heart and life to the Lord. Go ahead and do it today. Make the decision today, and do it and run to Him. once we truly find Christ and we're truly changed on the inside, we find out a couple things. Number one, we find out, hey, this is the greatest thing in the world, and I never knew I could feel this good. And number two, we find out that, hey, God really does love me and he's not against me. And number three, we find out, hey, this is a pretty good life. And I don't have to do the things I used to do. I thought that I wanted to live this way and do that because these are things that made me happy. But what I don't realize is when I finally find him and find the things that truly do make me happy, I'm much more happy because I've got a freedom in life and a newness in life, and the condemnation in life tends to go away. And don't wait on serving the Lord for everything to be lined up and right. Just go ahead and do it today. And when you fail, when you get saved and you make a proclamation to the Lord and you fail and you say a wordy dirt or you do something dumb or you have a slippage on your phone or slippage in conversation or a thought or whatever it is that you do, don't walk away. Just pick yourself up and just say, I'm sorry, and put up some guardrails and realize you've got a weakness in some areas. It doesn't mean that you're the devil, and do better the next time. Do better the next time. And you know what? If it happens again, still yet, just pick yourself up and say, I'm in. Now, don't make up a reason to do bad things, but just pick yourself up and say, I'm imperfect. I'm not Jesus. There was only one Jesus, and I'm not him. There was only one Charlie, and I'm not Charlie, and I'm not going to be as perfect as what I think I can be. But you know what? One day you will. We get better every day, and we just trust him every day, and we do our best to serve him because we want to be used of God. But don't wait a day. Time is short. I really wholeheartedly believe. Um, I think God, through His grace, is sending one last day's revival. There's a lot of things that go into that. The time frame, where we're at in history, how things are counting down, the evil in mankind. A lot of things are coming up, I think, on the prophetic calendar.
New religions that are being started.
New religions, yes, the Unitarianism that's coming up, one world order, all these things, the digital currency that's on the way. There's a lot of things coming. I think God's grace, God allowed Charlie to die so that a lot more people could be saved. And this is a part of an end days revival because God in His grace loves mankind so much that He'll do whatever it can to save us. And this is His way to reach out to us and to get us in rightful standing with Him so He can rapture us out of here, call us out of here. And that's when the wheels are going to fall off after we're gone. So go ahead and get saved today because we have no promise of tomorrow. We just don't.
Amen. If you see this video and you'd like to ask Mr. Merrill here any questions or you'd like to speak with him or anything like that, if you'll just drop a comment and I will make sure he gets it. If we get enough questions, I'll do a second episode with him and we'll just answer some of your questions.
And maybe we can do another video where I can ask Eddie the car guy, some questions, and we can ask him some things and let him give us some feedback. That'd be good as well.
I can see that. If I was going to be interviewed on my own show, I guess it'd be by you.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Be happy to do that.
All right. Well, until the next episode, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.